what's your funniest family vacation story? Last summer, my dad decided we needed a classic American family road trip to the Grand Canyon. The problem? Our family car was a 1998 Honda Civic with 250,000 miles, a broken air conditioner, and a passenger door that only opened from the outside. My dad, being the eternal optimist, said, "This car has character. It'll make the trip more memorable." He was right about the memorable part. Day one started great. We packed snacks, downloaded podcasts, and my little sister made a road trip playlist. But 30 minutes into our 8-hour drive, the car started making this weird grinding noise that sounded like a blender full of rocks. "That's just the engine warming up," Dad said confidently, turning up the radio to drown out the noise. By hour 2, we were all sweating because the AC was broken and it was 95 degrees outside. My mom kept fanning herself with a gas station map while muttering, "We should have flown." My sister and I were crammed in the back seat with all our luggage because Dad had maximized trunk space efficiency. I was sitting on a cooler. She was wedged between suitcases and we were both slowly melting. Then the car started overheating. Steam was pouring from under the hood and Dad pulled over at this sketchy gas station in the middle of nowhere. The attendant took one look at our car and said, "Y'all are brave driving that thing cross country." While Dad was under the hood pretending he knew what he was doing, my sister decided to get out through the broken passenger door. She pushed from the inside while I pulled from the outside, and the door came completely off its hinges. We just stood there holding a car door in a gas station parking lot while other travelers stared at us like we were a traveling circus. "Well," Dad said, wiping grease off his hands, "now we have better ventilation." Mom was not amused. We duct taped the door back on and continued driving with all the windows down because the car was still overheating. My hair was whipping around like I was in a tornado, and my sister looked like she'd been electrocuted. Hour 4 brought new problems. The radio died, so Dad started singing old country songs at the top of his lungs. Then the speedometer stopped working, so he had to guess how fast we were going by feeling the road. "I think we're doing about 55, he'd announce, while semis were passing us like we were standing still. By hour 6, we were all delirious from the heat and Dad singing. My sister had given up on life and was just lying across the suitcases like a defeated starfish. Mom was stress-eating our entire snack supply, and I was documenting everything on my phone for evidence. Then we hit construction traffic and sat motionless for 2 hours in 100-degree heat with no AC. Other families in their nice SUVs were looking at us with pity through their tinted windows while we slowly cooked in our metal death trap. A family in a minivan next to us actually offered us water bottles through their window because we looked like heat stroke victims. The final straw came when we were 20 miles from our hotel. The muffler fell off, just completely detached, and started dragging behind us, shooting sparks everywhere. We sounded like a motorcycle gang, and other drivers were pulling over thinking we were on fire. Dad pulled into a McDonald's parking lot, crawled under the car, and emerged holding a twisted piece of metal. "Good news," he announced cheerfully. "Now everyone will hear us coming." We drove the last 20 miles sounding like a NASCAR race, with people staring and pointing as we passed. When we finally pulled into the hotel, the valet took one look at our car and said, "Sir, I think you might want to park that yourself." The hotel manager actually came out to make sure we were okay, because apparently several guests had called the front desk about the emergency vehicle in the parking lot. That night at dinner, Dad raised his glass and said, "See, I told you this trip would be memorable." He wasn't wrong. We still talk about it every family gathering, usually while planning our next vacation around rental car availability. Our beat-up Honda never made it home. We had to fly back.